Hello YouTube, and welcome back to Let's Play Dungeon Defenders. Again, I keep thinking I'm gonna say another game that I'm used to Let's Playing, but anyways, in this episode we're going to the first boss. And if you watched my Squire walkthrough, then obviously you know what's gonna happen and everything. But for those of you who are watching this for the first time of Dungeon Defenders, for some reason this level starts off on wave 3. Not really sure why. But besides the point, what am I doing? Right, okay. Not up there. Not yet. Alright, there was like 6 or 7 chests, I guess, that appeared, but only 4 will respawn every wave. So you only get 160 per wave, but you get an additional like 100, I think. No, that's not right. I don't know. You get some additional 120, that's what it is. 3 extra chests, just to start you off. But, let's see. Is my lightning tower good enough range? I wouldn't say that's good enough. I could probably just put 2, but I only have enough mana for 1 right now. So I'll just put a spike blockade there. And another one there. I mean, not a spike blockade. I'm used to the Squire. Magic blockade. That's what I'm talking about. Because those will get rid of the elemental affinity of my enemies so that the fireball tower can actually hurt them. Now, what I'm going to do here, actually, I'm just going to start the round. I've still got 40 mana, so I could have built a magic missile tower or a couple of magic blockades. But for right now, I'm just going to save that money, or that mana, because as you can see there's a bunch of enemies coming in forward, and then there's 2 more enemies coming in the back. So because I don't have any defenses that way, I'm just going to go in and take care of them on my own, because they really don't have that much health. And the Apprentice, it's really good at dealing with these smaller enemies, because it has a pretty quick attack speed, and it stuns the enemies every time you hit them. So that's nice. Just remember to come in here and get some mana, because the mana will disappear after a little while. Well, not really based on time, it's based on how much mana is on the field. So the more enemies get killed, the more mana is on the ground. And when there's too much mana, oh nice. It is just when they walk into it, you don't have to attack. Alright, so I got that wrong on my earlier episode. But anyways, when there's too much mana on the ground, then the mana that's already there will start disappearing. Or despawning, I think is the official term. So you just want to be careful with that. Make sure you're not losing any money. Not the lightning tower, fireball tower. I'm going to put this here, just to make sure that it's defending this little corridor. Now you probably could suffice with just a magic missile tower rather than a fireball tower, but I prefer to use the fireball tower just to be sure, because it does have more, firepower. It is a little better at getting the bigger swarms and everything, and then you just need that magic blockade to help defend the fireball tower in general, but also just to get rid of the fire element of your enemies, so that the fireball tower can actually hurt everyone. Now there's no wyverns in this stage, which is very nice. I really don't like having to deal with them. And now I'm just going to spam a whole bunch of fireball towers right here in front. I don't know exactly how well that'll be for my defense units, but hopefully it'll work out nicely. And if anything, I'll just put down a few magic blockades to fill up my defense units to get that experience boost. So there's 6 doors, 5 doors, where the enemies will come from. From where you see my character, I guess, above and below me, the enemies will go left and right, as you can see. So you just need those 2 towers right there on the left, the fireball towers, or turrets, to really to cover those backsides, or you could put it behind the crystal, just facing that direction, But then you don't really have as much room for the fireball towers to shoot them before they get to the magic blockade, and for some reason that just walked right through. Alright, so then all the other doors will have to come through this one little point to get through to your defenses, I mean through your crystal, which is why I focus most of my defenses here, so that I know the enemies are going to be coming in just from this direction, and I can just focus all of my defenses in one spot, rather than have to spread them out, destroying everything else, or destroying the enemies right in front of their doors, which is another method that I would really only recommend if you're playing with other people, or if you have another character that you're going to switch out for the combat phase, because like I said earlier, there's going to be a boss in this level. So I think I interrupted myself earlier. I was talking about how you start off on wave 3, and we're not really sure why the game does that, because it goes up to wave 7, and on wave 7, it'll say like final wave or boss wave or something, and then once you're done defeating all the enemies on that wave, don't need any armor. Just don't give me anything useful. That's kind of useful, I guess. But what am I saying? Once the wave is over, then it'll give you a little 15-second countdown, and then the boss will appear. And he lands like right about where I'm standing, and I'm pretty sure if you place towers here, then he'll actually destroy them by landing on them. But I think those lightning towers are far enough back that he won't destroy them. And just looking through here, yeah, that'll be helpful. And okay, and I should actually level up. Just get those. And like I've said in the past, I really don't need the equipment right now, because it really doesn't help me very much. There's not many pieces of equipment that will actually upgrade my stats enough to be worth spending time to stop and look at it. But occasionally there is some rare piece that will be helpful. So I do recommend you actually look through it if you want to take the time for that. Obviously if you're playing the game. And I really don't need to heal these because it's just a little bit of health, but it is going to bother me if I see that they all need health. And I never really look at the ones in the back, so I'm not going to focus on them. Alright, so we got 15 more defense units. Now let's see. This one takes 3, 1, 5. So I could build 3 more fireball towers, or 5 magic missile towers, to finish off the defense units. And the lightning tower is pretty good for getting those kobolds, just because it obviously can't get all of them, but it'll hit one enemy that's close to you, and then chain lightning to attack all the others, which is helpful for the kobolds because they usually stop when they're outside the range of your other towers, and then charge in really fast, and you don't really have a chance to blow them up before they get to your defenses. So having that chain lightning can help get a few of them before they start charging, but obviously there's always the possibility of them charging before your lightning tower can get them. Right, just need a little bit more mana, and then I'll get that 3rd extra fireball tower. Then I can just start upgrading all these. Now, I do remember when I was doing my other Apprentice walkthrough, which the video should still be up if you want to look for it. I'm pretty much saying the same things I do here, I think. But instead of putting a whole bunch of fireball towers, I put a whole bunch of magic missile towers, and I don't think I even put any magic blockades, which is a pretty bold strategy, but it actually worked out really well against the boss. So I'm really hoping that these fireball towers just totally destroy the boss, rather than, you know, have to make it a long drawn-out fight or anything. Although if it was a long drawn-out fight, then I could show off something else about the boss. But something else I should mention is that the goblins are now, they're like level 2, or like the little carrot above their head, and yeah, this is the 3rd wave right? Yeah, because I start off on the 3rd, and then 4th, now 5th. But starting on round 4, you might have noticed, I didn't say anything about it because I forgot, but the goblins actually get stronger on that 2nd wave, which is different from all the previous levels because it was always the last wave or the 2nd to last, but now they're getting stronger faster, and I just realized I should have been upgrading. Oops. So the goblins, and really all the enemies, are getting stronger at an earlier point in the level, which is just a general heads up that, hey, the game, gets harder as you keep playing, which is always something that I should remember. And I think I did notice when I was playing some other game, like I was playing this game, but obviously not as this character, off screen, and the archers do actually get stronger on Foundries and Forges, I think, or there's some other level. But it's not just the goblins that get stronger, the archers do get stronger as well, but their color difference isn't as dramatic, so it's a little harder to tell, and I should not have gotten that chest, but then I'm just going to upgrade. Alright. Also, here you can see that it's shooting out three little blasts. And that's because here it has that +2, and that means +2 additional charges that it's shooting out. So if you see the +2, it doesn't mean that you're shooting 2 charges, it means you're shooting 2 additional charges. So really the best stat, I guess, in that one would be a +4, even though there have been some +5 or +6. But having +4 will give you that 5 charge spread, which is very helpful. And if you have +6 or +5 or +6 or something, then it'll shoot the additional charges in the same trajectory as the initial one. Basically, instead of making it spread out farther, it'll just make your middle first charge have additional charges within that area. I'm not sure if I'm explaining that right, but you probably won't come across something like that very often, so it doesn't really make that big of a difference. You can actually upgrade those lightning towers because they're a little bit hurt, and instead of repairing them, why not just make them better? Just need to upgrade a few more fireball towers, and then I'll be good. And there's really not much else that goes on in this level, because once you have your defenses all built up right there, all you're doing is upgrading, and all they're doing is getting stronger as well. They, as in the enemies. Although in the final wave, it actually introduces a new enemy type, the Dark Elf Mage, which I can just talk about now, because you won't really see him very much in the actual wave, because he'll just be destroyed pretty quickly. And I think he usually just goes to the backside anyways, which is where I'm not really paying much attention. Which I probably should pay attention, because something's bound to go down back there when I'm not looking. Alright, let's see. Alright, now just upgrading them all to level 2. I'm not going to worry too much about upgrading the Magic Blockade, because obviously they're not taking that much damage. Even though it is possible for a Kobold or two to just come in and really mess them up. And no, oh well. See, it doesn't actually do that much damage, but I'll repair them anyways. Alright, so now it's the final wave, boss wave, so then just be prepared for that. Alright, can upgrade these lightning towers, even though I'm kind of afraid that they're going to get destroyed when the boss arrives. And all this equipment, oh, that's actually helpful, because it gives me extra range on my defenses. Anything else? No, that actually decreased my stats. This one is actually the same type, same weapon. That one I need to be a higher level for. Anything? No. Alright. Just gather a little bit more mana. Remember that it is a good idea to gather all the mana on the floor before you start the next wave. Because when you start the next wave, all the mana and all the items, well, all the items will be sold, and then the amount of mana that you get will be distributed among all the players that are playing, which obviously since I'm just playing on my own, it's just giving the mana to me. If you're playing with like 2 people and all the equipment equals 100 mana, then it'll give you both 50. And there goes more chest right there. And then all the mana does the same, it just kind of collects and then distributes amongst everyone that's playing. So if you're playing in a multiplayer game, don't just run around picking up all the mana and all the items so that they don't disappear. It's more polite if you let everyone have a chance at just getting it all evenly, rather than just hogging it all yourself. But hopefully the general public already knows that, because the game's been out for quite a while, and hopefully that information has been spread around. Something else that I haven't actually been showing you on the recording is that in between levels, or in between certain screens, they give you a little bit of a loading screen, and that loading screen will usually give you little tips and advice, and that's actually, I think, where I found out about that little mana thing. So always remember to read those, just in case there's something helpful. Alright, now I don't think I'm actually going to be able to level up, and actually, I said I was going to talk about the Dark Elf Mage, and then I never did. Dark Elf Mage is that guy, and of course he's a fire elemental. He can heal the enemies around him, he can shoot a fireball, and he can summon skeletal minions. He can summon up to 3, and you can kill them, but then they'll just be stuck there on the ground, and he'll be able to resurrect them, which is very frustrating and can be very dangerous at times when his skeletal minion is in the range of an attack, but he isn't. So then he'll keep getting killed, the skeletal minion, but then the Dark Elf Mage will just keep resurrecting him and stay out of sight from your defenses, and then just, you know, cause a bunch of mayhem because he's still alive and not being killed and stuff. But another good thing about the Lightning Tower is that if they're hitting the skeletal minion, chances are the Chain Lightning will also hit the mage. So unless the mage is an electric type, the Lightning Tower is a pretty good defense against the Dark Elf Mage, or you can just go in and kill him yourself. And because he's a Dark Elf enemy, that means that he's going to prioritize you over your defenses, more so than any of the other enemies do. So when you're coming up to him, he's going to start backing up, trying to run away from you, and then use his fireball attack to try to, you know, kill you, or defend himself, I guess. And now the boss approaches. Alright, and there's so much equipment that says it's good for me, but really that was nothing. That's helpful. What's this? No. Alright. So I can't actually level up right now. I have to wait for a build phase. And I think this is just going to be it. I'm pretty sure these fireball towers are just going to destroy the boss. But I could be wrong. Alright, let's see how this goes. In 3, 2, 1. And that is the boss. And like I said, those fireball towers are just destroying him. So that's awesome. And he didn't destroy any of my towers, so I still have full defense units, and it gives me that experience boost. And he drops a whole bunch of mana. Unfortunately, I already have way more mana than he drops. Like, seriously, it's just ridiculous. So that should be good. But yeah, that's good. Alright. So now I'm level 15, actually, and I only needed to be level 14. Let's check the Defender's Forge. And the Demonic Heirloom is the item that he dropped. And I'm actually going to use this one because I like using the item that the enemy drops. He also gives you some armor, but I never really care about armor. obviously. Now, I don't know if I've actually showed you this before on The Apprentice, but you can upgrade your equipment to increase its stats, and it does cost mana, but because I have so much mana, it really doesn't matter if I'm upgrading this. You can also rename it, but I don't really care about renaming it. And once you get it to its maxed level, you'll say forged by, and then your character's name. So I just did this to give my attacks or my defenses a little more range. And you can also upgrade any of these. I'm actually going to increase my hero casting rate rather than my health, because that will decrease the time it takes to upgrade things and build things, which is very useful, but obviously not the most important stat ever. But like I said, still very useful. And I can't upgrade that one because it's already only at level 1. Alright, so that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.